Hey, welcome back to Dealing With It. Today we're going to be playing a new playthrough of the We The People mod for Civilization 4 Colonization. I was going to wait until I completely wrapped up recording the Victoria 3 playthrough, but I decided that I wanted to go ahead and get started sooner rather than later, just because I've been having a lot of fun with various test games that I've been running from time to time. Anyway, we're going to be playing as the Russians, which I think are the weakest of the colonies. They are imperialist, so they get +2 culture in each colony. They have free promotion Homeland Guard, which is like just more strength inside your cultural borders. They have double production speed of defensive buildings like forts and fortresses. Their relations with kings are strengthened. They have less culture needed for territorial expansion, so it's not bad. They can get a decent amount of land faster than other colonies. But I don't really find needing to expand your borders is like a huge deal, usually, as long as you settle carefully. They also have disciplined here, so they have cheaper settlers, native traders, pioneers, scouts, town guards, colonial militia, dragoons, heavy cav, also light and heavy artillery. Notably though, they don't have cheaper line infantry. It would be nicer to have cheaper line infantry, but that's too bad. At least they do get a little more storage capacity in all their settlements. This leader Yermak is also a pioneer. He has cheaper pioneer equipment as well here, so he should actually have minus 45% pioneer equipment required overall. Their pioneers work 50% faster and their actions are cheaper by half. Also, your improvements can upgrade to the next level in half the time. Your improvements in We The People do actually upgrade, like a ranch will become a large ranch or something like that over time. They also get a nice little 10% chance colonists learn a specialization by hard work. We'll of course do the typical map script. I'm not going to do any of the scenarios. I'd rather do something random and find out what happens. I'm also wondering if I should do revolutionary or patriot. The AI is really strong, even on patriot in terms of expansion. Even in the new movement system, they seem to be able to expand pretty effectively. But I guess I can show you how they do on revolutionary. Why not? Our objective is to actually finish this because we are playing on normal speed instead of marathon. Marathon just ground me down too much eventually. It has a tendency to do that at some point. But normal speed, I should be able to actually get this done and not have it be like 60 episodes basically. Our colonies will have a 2-plot radius, just like they normally do in We The People. In the original game, you only have a 1-plot radius. I'm gonna kind of assume that for the most part you know about the original colonization, and you at least know about the remake or understand it. Because chances are if you've clicked on this video, you probably already understand what colonization is for the most part. I love the loading quotes in this game. This time I'm not gonna read through all these little stories and whatnot, but I will go ahead and make sure that you can see all the text. Anyway, as the Russians, we start with a interesting choice of units. We only have a caravel, and oh my goodness, what is this? Why? We'll adjust this in a second. We only have a caravel, which is it's not the worst ship, but it's like the worst ocean-going ship. We also have a expert trader and a expert hunter settler. Being Russian, we also have access to a unique unit. Now, other colonies that get unique units, such as the colonial distiller, who does 180% production of rum and fruit brandy, which is in comparison to, say, the master distiller, which only does 100% of those two items. We could get something cool like that, or we could get something cool like the excavator, the Portuguese unique unit, who does extra gold and gems and silver production. That'd be nice, right? But no, we get the Siberian lumberjack. He just makes more wood. He makes more lumber, hardwood, and exotic wood. Yep, our unique specialist is a lumberjack. That's not a very good choice in my opinion. But maybe if we're lucky enough, we can rush some buildings. Alright, so I'm not sure how to move from here. It looks like there might even be land to our southeast, which means that we're probably in like a Gulf of Mexico style situation, hopefully. I kind of want to go southeast, but I'm also worried that we're not going to hit land. So I want to go northwest instead. Let's try that out. Okay, so we do see that there's some more sea lane right here that we can go to. And I'll, of course, scroll through A Dream of Fame and Glory so that you may read it if you would like to do so. Let's keep moving towards the west, and oh, I found some goodies in the ocean. Got some gold for my endeavor. Would have been nice to get some experience points instead, but that's okay. Let's head back northwest a little bit further, and hopefully we find land here pretty soon. We might need to sell southwest. We could have ended up in an ocean in the middle of nowhere. Being on a gigantic map does sometimes result in that kind of thing. Oh, finally we found some land. Oh my goodness, it's more marsh and wetland. We have a new world right here, and there you go. Oh, thank goodness, we do have some squash here on some plains, and it looks like we're actually pretty close to the frigid north, which is nice. We're Russia, I would kind of expect that, but we also have some wetland right here, surprisingly close. I'm wondering where we should settle. I'm not seeing anything that really sticks out. There's red foxes here for premium coats. Well, premium fur to make premium coats. I think we sail up north somewhere. The new movement system makes it really hard to move around if you have one movement point. Like, you can get off the ship for free onto any tile. You can get off for free. You don't go into negative movement points. But if you get off the ship and you walk around, like if I was on this hill right here and I went north onto this jungle hill, that would cost 4 movement points for the settler. The settler only has 1 movement point, so it would end up with -3 movement points. It would be 1 minus 4. And then you have to wait 3 turns for your movement points to come back. It's really important to have access to the ocean in this updated movement system, which basically you can go negative on movement points. That's really all it is. But there's a lot of like strategic and tactical implications that come from that. Somehow we already have, oh yeah, because we have a trade with the natives right here. That's why we got that little pop-up. We've got 3 locations marked as potential settling locations. We've got a wetland that is not covered by a shallow coast. This looks to all be shallow coast right here, so we don't want to settle right there. We may have to, unfortunately, once again, settle in a weird little location where it's unhealthy. Or we could maybe do it on the savannah right here. I do want to make use of this squash though, but the premium furs will be nice. So let's sail down to the southeast real quick and take a little bit of a look around here. Let's go ahead and let's grab the goodies. And oh, we got a map. Very nice indeed. Alright, we got some horses here too. So let's turn on the resource display. That won't show all the yields, of course. We got horses, we got cotton down here. I do want to make use of that cotton at some point in time. And I actually know enough of the map that I can kind of plan where we might want to settle some locations. I'm not too sure here. Let's actually sail down one more to get a better look. Just to see if there was anything in the water here that stuck out. We could settle on the wetland tile here. We'd have access to the river that would balance out the unhealthiness from the wetland. And we would also be coastal, so it would be positive health overall. But then that would mean that we could not settle within 3 tiles of that location. So we'd have to settle like here on the wetland just south of the iron to reach the cotton eventually. And that would have access to fresh water, but that would be behind shallow coast. The alternative to this location is one east right here, but that doesn't have access to fresh water, so it would be -2 health immediately. So its productivity would start to drop because the number of goods that it produces would actually be decreased. So we don't want to go right there. We may have to accept that a number of our colonies are going to be behind shallow coast. Alternatively, maybe I build on the cotton right here, and then I can reach the clams eventually. The iron, the beehive, the horses. Not immediately, but we don't immediately need it. If I did settle the cotton, then that means that I could settle at the closest location would be, let's say, the jungle right here next to the foxes. That actually kind of fits in together. And then from there, the closest location that I could go would be actually like on the squash, or one north of the squash, depending on what's over here. I really want some colony to have access to the fish. We get way too much food from fish resources to not make use of them. I think the cotton settle is going to be our second settlement, so let's go ahead and let's set up in the savannah right there. We're going to get everybody off the boat. I need everybody at first. I do still want to do my old strategy of like rushing towards the first exploration founding father. I want to see how well that technique works in normal speed with the new movement system. Alright, what are we going to name this place? Let's call it Red Fox Bay. That's what those things are named, right? Red Foxes. First thing we're going to build is of course going to be political points. Yeah, those are indeed Red Foxes, so Red Fox Bay sounds pretty good to me. It may not have an actual bay, but we can pretend. Now this expert trader, he could go and establish a trading post, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have him do some carpentry instead, so that we can get some lumber from the hunter and make some political points. And hopefully we can get... Oh, we make coffee here. Wonderful. I definitely want coffee instead of sugar, because coffee is really heavily demanded. Although rum is pretty heavily demanded too, it's just not as expensive as coffee domestically. We have 162 gold on hand. Let's check out what Europe is looking like. We have another expert native trader, an indentured servant, a master sail maker, and an expert olive picker. Nothing that really stands out. I'd like to get another scout as soon as I could. The standard settler cost right now for a basic settler is about 800 for a specialty, 1200 for a master, and then 2,000 for the elders, the university level. You know what I could do is I bet I could go buy some furs from the natives down here and then turn my money into more money. I think that sounds like a good idea. We can do some exploration along the way too. Now the playstyle of the Russians here, I've not yet decided what exactly it's going to be. The main reason I picked them was just because they are typically the weakest of all the AI. Like AI Russia is usually pretty awful. We got the housewarming little event, so here you go if you'd like to read it. And then we had to choose between generating crosses, Liberty Bells, or food in our home settlement. Well, I want to get that first founding father, and there's a lot of competition to get him, so we'll get the Liberty Bell production. Now we have met the Crow. There are nomads, people, and patriarch. They welcome us and they say that they are peaceful people. Well, we may be at peace with them. We're not sure yet. The Russians did do a decent number of pretty messed up stuff to the Alaskans. But yeah, let's sail on inside and let's have a chat with the natives. They only have 24 furs. That's too bad. What do... Oh, peat only sells for 1 in Europe. That is awful. We'll buy some furs. For 24 gold, I'll take that because then I can double my money. Well, actually, not... Oh, goodness, not even double my money. They sell for 5 in Europe. So that means that I can turn 24 gold into 125 gold-ish. I don't think we're going to go bother heading back to Red Fox Bay. We're going to sail immediately east to try to get back to Europe as fast as possible. We do want to pick up some more people here and then bring them back so they can get some more work done. We have a short period of time until we can get Jacques Marquette, who provides 1 seasoned scout and +1 movement for all scouts, plus twice as likely to get treasure from ancient ruins. So we have the first natives met here. This is the story if you would like to read it. Hey, we found a goodie hut. Let's keep on sailing to the northeast and see if we can't find anything else on the way back. Alright, so most of this land is once again wetland with a few grasslands as well though, thankfully. And we have some good land down here, so it's not all unhealthy terrain like last time. It's just still quite a bit. Alright, unfortunately we didn't find much else, although again, the sea lane ends right here, so there must be like an island over here to the east that we might want to check out at some point. We sold off our fur. Now what would we like to pick up? Well, I think an indentured servant makes sense to produce more lumber, so we'll pick him up. With that lumber we can make more hammers. We got a master roper. Interesting. We don't have access to cassava or hemp yet, I don't think, which is too bad. After that, getting an expert native trader might not be a terrible idea. Or we can consider saving our money for a scout I need to find out exactly how much a scout costs for these guys. 40 horses and 16 provisions. Okay. Let's see how much 40 horses is. It's probably way too much, right? 320 gold. Yeah, let's just keep what we have on hand and see what happens. I'll send the ship back towards Red Fox Bay, but not directly there. I feel like whenever you send ships directly to colonies, they have like a greater chance of ending up going into a storm or something. We also have our first trade agreement because we sold off our first goods in Europe. Very nice indeed. Oh, we found some more goodies in the unknown area down there. Unfortunately, it was a map that didn't really reveal much of anything, except some stuff up here. You don't usually want to end your turn in favorable wind, makes it easier to get you killed, but I'll let it stay there for now. That's okay. In terms of getting the first founding father, we're not that far away. Hopefully I'll be able to squeak out some more hammers once I can get the indentured servant to work. I really have a hard time seeing anything else as being reasonable for the opening play at like really high level in this game. I feel like you kind of have to do this like founding father play. But I was watching Clan Hawkins' Let's Play and he's doing pretty alright on Patriot. I'll try some other strategies later on when I play more playthroughs of this. I won't play this constantly, but I do enjoy We The People, so I'm sure I'll come back to it from time to time. We'll pick up the coffee berries to go sell, and then maybe go on another run past the natives. Hopefully they picked up some more stuff. Oh yeah, we could have traded with Nadia. We should have done it on the way back. We'll do that next time. Alright, they got 40 furs. I'll take those 40 furs very much. Thank you. And then we'll head on over to Nadia. I'd really like to take some time to go exploring, but I feel like I'm really time crunched on normal speed. You really need to make all your time count. I don't think you're time limited in the mod, but you do have to compete with other people reaching independence before you do. Hey, there we go. Jakku's Marquette. Let's grab our seasoned scout and let's have a chat with the natives here. They have some furs. They have coffee berries too. How much for the coffee berries? 108, so about 2 each. I can double my money. Would you also give me the furs? You would not give me the furs as well. No, there you go. Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. And then let's sail east a little bit here and get a look around what's going on. There's some huckleberries down here for some fruit. Oh, some goodies. I'll take that. Yeah, there's definitely some kind of island over here. That's pretty cool. I love the formations on this map script. Let's also turn on the yield indicator just in case there's any pearls that are hidden in the ocean that are hard to see. Oh, there you go. Let's call them pearls, and this is Alt-S, and then you click the map. And then if you want to get rid of it, you Alt-S again, and you click that again, and then it gets rid of it. So I definitely need to settle up here. I did not realize that there were pearls. I wasn't looking closely enough. It's hard to notice these friggin' reefs. Anyway, we got our first seasoned scout. Let's go explore the campfire here and hope that we get a defender so that I can station him. We did not. I got an expert native trader. Alright, that expert native trader, I might actually use him properly now. The question is where we're going to set him up. I want to set up in a Fognak, maybe? They're far enough away from my colonies that I plan to settle. Because I don't want to settle like... Well, maybe I will. We'll trade with them at first, and we'll see how things go. Although, let's check the land up here for crow culture. There's a native village just over here in the darkness. Let's send this native trader over there, actually. And let's take a look at the crow and her traits, exactly what she is. Oh, got a little dev build error here. Civilization types at the very bottom needs to have that Z get fixed. Consequences of playing on a unfinished build, or at least a build that is not seen as complete for public people to access. We can get there through leaders though, thankfully. Her name is Pine Leaf, so they are nomads. They get extra food on plots of 2 food. They are naturally stronger. They have close combat 1, so that gives them plus 10% strength on their units, 50% more horses, and cheaper food, and less food needed for population growth. They do get 150% native conversion rate from missions. That's nice. Better prices from trading post, less XP needed for units, and more gold at European first contact plus homeland guard, so they're even more defensive. It would be really good if we could establish missions with these dudes. Maybe we're going to try to play nice with them, try to do a little bit of a French playstyle. We'll see how things evolve naturally though. We've been challenged to find the western route to Asia, not too concerned about that, and our caravel is becalmed. That sucks. I'm busy for 1 turn. Wonderful. I used to think that event was tied to being an unfavorable wind, but I discovered that it seems to happen naturally. Let's go say hello to Kaposia here on the next turn, fortunately, and see how much gold we can get from them. Let's have a chat with the chief finally. And they are expert sugar planters. Cool. They need chocolate. And yeah, we have something here that we should not ever say to them. This is pretty cool actually. This is coast all the way up here, leading to Kaposia. So we could have some colonies somewhere along this like channel, I guess you could call it. Or maybe it wouldn't be a channel. I think a channel is from like sea to sea. This is like a, I guess you'd call it a bay, yeah. It's kind of like Chesapeake Bay, yeah. Let's check these ruins out right here. We want to check out the northern area to get a better look at our feature pearl colony. I do think that the pearls are maybe a little too common, but hey, whatever. As we establish trading posts with the crow, they'll feel happier about us being around as well. I could take a look at this island over here and see what's going on and then go to Europe. I think that's reasonable. We're in the area, although the fog is getting in the way. And if we're lucky, we're going to find some goodies. My goodness, the fog. And we have the event where you can get a chapel or a tavern in exchange for 2 turns of disorder. We're going to go with the chapel actually here. I should have been building something else now that I think about it, but hey, whatever. It's all good. I'm pretty sure that we're still going to do pretty well. Let's go ahead. We'll go into the village hall after that. We'll probably pull the native trader out. Making political points is not a bad thing anyway, but it'll be alright. Anyway, let's move on here. I want to get to this burial ground here. I could go through this tile, but that would cost me 4 movement points, or I could go here, that would be 3, and then 4. That doesn't make sense, so we need to go through the 4 movement. It'll just take us a little while. You see here? It'll be 1 turn to get there, but then it'll be 3 turns to get onto the burial ground. That's the new movement system in action. You really do need, in my experience, at least like 2 movement points in order to get around pretty effectively. Alright, so this island looks to be pretty much completely settled by the crow. I don't think that we really have an interest. Oh, there's pearls here. I guess we do have an interest in settling. Never mind. Let's take a closer look at this island here. Alright, oh, maybe it's not an island. Well, it has to be an island, because the sea lane surely wouldn't be this far to the west. There's hemp here as well. Let's keep going in this direction, and oh, tobacco, hello. It is a fair distance away from the mainland, but it's not like it's a huge distance, so it might be reasonable to actually settle this. Anyway, our native trader is in position in Kaposia. I'm gonna have them establish a trading post, and we have built our first church in the New World. Alright, I think we need to go ahead and head back to Europe. We already have somebody to pick up, and oh, we got our first Siberian lumberjack if we want to pick that guy. I think getting him next makes sense, but we'd really prefer to somehow make enough money to get some scouts rolling, and it looks like we'll be able to do that. So yeah, let's peel back towards the sea lane, but we'll go through the darkness right here. Or try to, if only this whale, this orca, was not in the way. Oh, you're standing on the shipwreckage. Come on, man. Let's move around it and hope that the whale moves so that we can pick that up. Caravels cannot attack in the mod. That's just too bad. I don't think you could attack in the original either with a caravel, could you? Alright, we got 272 gold from that little burial ground. And let's take a look for some crow culture. There is some over here. If you look at the lands, you can kind of tell where the villages are at, because you can see their borders, but even though you can't really see their borders, getting over here would be fastest just to go through this direction, so we'll do that most likely, unless we want to take out this hostile native. He does have 3 strength, What are our odds? Pretty terrible. Let's not do that. Hey, 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 the whale moved. Let's grab some experience. That's wonderful. Getting the first promotion on your ships is actually very, very valuable. There's a land up here too. There must be some kind of like... So this is like a gigantic bay. There's land over here that might be an island. There's land all around here. This is actually looking a lot like the Gulf of Mexico, surprisingly. And I live in Texas, so of course I know all about the Gulf. We are going to head back to Europe though, right there. We need to get the next immigrants rolling as soon as we can. I might even... No, I don't want to change this guy. I want to keep him a native trader, and I'd like to get somebody hired to become a scout. I still think that exploration is very powerful on normal speed, but hey, maybe we'll find out that that's not true and the AI is going to smoke me. But maybe the AI would have smoked me no matter what, even if I do a really good strategy. They're quite powerful on this level. See, the scout didn't get to move again. That's the consequence of the new movement system. Moving through dense terrain is hard, as it really should be. I'm finally building that village hall in Red Fox Bay. I don't think I want to pull this guy out from being a carpenter quite yet. I'd rather him go ahead and help build stuff here for now. We don't have, like... Even if I made him a trader, he'd have to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 maybe? 8, 9, 10 turns to get there. And the ship will be back pretty soon. After the village hall, we might want to go for, say... Let's grab the trader, let's grab the Siberian lumberjack, make him a scout as well, please. 512 gold, nice. Let's go ahead and let's auto send them back to Red Fox Bay. After the village hall, what do we want to work on in Red Fox Bay? Well, we gotta think about that here. I think that we could maybe use more culture. Actually, our culture is going to expand pretty rapidly on its own. That is because we are the Russians, that is true. We have some horses down here, we could do horse breeding, and then sell them in Africa, if necessary. But I think what I'd really like to do is I'd like to get the hunter doing his job. Although he does basic fur, right? He doesn't really do premium fur. He's a little bit better at premium fur, but not the best. Either way, I'd like to get him to do his job and then set up some coat production here. Right now they're selling for 10 in Europe, but I gotta remember to get more horses than I need at some point in time. Oh yeah, and coffee roasting. Ooh, coffee roasting. But before we can sell coffee to our own people, we need to build a market. We could also build a pier, because we have access to the fish here pretty soon. Let's do this. Let's do a defensive structure, the Chevaux de Fruits, that gives us an extra happiness. And then after that, let's build the pier. And then after the pier, I think I'd like to build the fur trader house. And I think we'll call it good for that. After that, we'll probably go ahead and build a tavern, and probably a market as well. Alright, these dudes train expert hunter. They need horses. They only gave us 222 gold, sadly enough. And up here it does look to be quite frigid. But there's a good supply of polar foxes here for premium fur. And I don't see any indications that there's anybody up here to compete with us, but I would not be surprised if they exist. I'm going to focus on going north here along the coastline because I'm about to have a scout prepared in Red Fox Bay. That scout can head south and check these villages out along the coast. I could even use the caravel to ship them around a little bit, but not a whole lot. I am going to need a second ship and not too long. You know what I could do is I could have that trader do some cross production, and we could get some more people rolling here faster. That would slow down all the buildings though. Yeah, I think we focus on building tall. I enjoy building tall. Like, I enjoy wide and I enjoy tall. As long as tall has like some complexity to it that makes it interesting to think about. And we got some experience on our scout, so now we can get our Explorer 1 and our Explorer 2. Now we should have -1 terrain movement cost. We do indeed, so it should be easier to get around. And let's continue onwards. Hey, we found some moose. I'm not sure I've seen the moose resource yet. They give fur. The tile itself naturally does food and flax and whatnot, but they do quite a bit of fur. There's also plenty of muskox around for more fur. Actually, some premium fur. Very nice. Why is it... Hold on, what? So the northern forest gives premium fur. no matter what. Got you, got you. They are bonus fur. There's a lot of fur to get up here, goodness. We also got access to plenty of hardwood from these ancient northern forests. I'll turn on the yields here. You can see it looks like a gray brick, kind of. So we're not going to have any problems with military shipbuilding if we like to do that, because we're going to have tons of lumber.